Boo! Yeah,
Booyah!
man. Reminisce,
Reminisce,
reminisce.
reminisce once again.
Once
Yes,
again, as always, man. Every Tuesday, man. It's always good to just like check in and just vibe out and talk about things that are happening in community and just keeping that circulation, man. That's what it is right now.
that's
Keep it
it, man.
connected, man.
It feels real good. It feels real good, fam, man. How was your week?
Week was pretty good. At least so far. I mean, so it's only Tuesday or whatnot, but I was in Montreal for a quick sec to pick up my daughter. So we have her down here. I have both my kids, for the holidays. So we've been doing that, skating and just vibing out. Um, yeah, man. Yeah, things are I've been winding down a bit with schools and stuff like that because of it's the holiday season. So that's kind of good. But what was interesting is like there's this one group that we did, and it was like kind of like an 8 week project or program, and that program ended, but like the responses was so great that these kids actually wanted to continue the program. So we're just going to like just do it, and I thought that was a pretty honorable and just like humbling thing. That these kids got so much value in the program that they wanted to continue, they didn't want it to end, and especially with this like whole social distancing and isolation or whatever. I think this is a great way to stay connected and what have you. So big up, for that, man. I feel really good. So
Yo,
I
that's
mean,
dope.
that's my
That's,
week, man. Yeah. Now, how's things on your end?
yo, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. I can honestly say, um, I'm finished the album. I sent it off. I'm hearing a bit of an echo.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
sorry.
Oh
Uh,
shoot.
I don't know if it's messing you up, but
Yeah. Try
oh,
again. Go ahead. Yeah, we good. We
quickly,
good. We good.
quickly, Merry Christmas, Colleen. Big
Yes.
up.
Yes. Big up.
Merry Christmas, Sandy. Anybody who's checking in.
Salute to everyone. Showing love.
Happy holidays, happy Kwanzaa, whatever you do, whatever you celebrate. Peace to the Jewish people who don't even believe in Jesus, all that.
Yeah, all of that, man. It's any ways that we can feel connected and just remind ourselves about things that are important, which is like connection, humanity, just being kind,
Yeah,
things of that nature. So
family.
I mean, you gotta give in order to receive. You know what I'm
That
saying? So
that if that don't happen, it's just theft or slavery.
woo, talk the things, man. Talk
Yeah,
the
yeah.
things.
But
Yeah.
I wanted to shout out our guest. But to finish my point, I did complete the album, and
Say word.
yeah, yeah. Well, it's not an album; it's 8 songs. It's
Well,
just a nice.
still, I mean,
It's like around 25 minutes of new music. It's good. And
25 minutes of new music. Okay, Mo.
yeah,
I'm
yeah, it's
excited to.
not no big thing, but it's just a nice little half an hour.
Yeah.
I captured most of 2020 in a rap record, and I'm having it actually mastered out in Calgary, so that's cool.
That's awesome. So you got production by a guy out in Ghana. So you got
Yep,
that African connection in Calgary. This guy is just making that international, making that connection, man.
straight up. Got to go
That's
international.
cool. That's cool.
So I feel good about it, and I'm gonna start writing on the book as soon as now that the album's done. The mission is really get this concert book popping. I want it to be like like a Toronto history book, like no
Yeah.
other, where people are like, "Yo, man, I'm gonna see if I can like put little people in little ways, but like for the most part, I just want my history to be told once." So
I mean, I can't think of any other person, better to do that.
yeah,
You're someone who's always been like invested in the culture. Like, you're like a vivid writer. You know what I mean? Like I remember some of the like ways how you would describe like concerts and the experiences. It was almost like you're there. You know what I mean? So you definitely have a gift in that. You know what I mean? Of really bringing people to that moment. I'm excited to relive certain moments. 'Cause I know as I go through your book and hear certain stories, I'll be like, oh shoot, I was there, but now I'm getting a different perspective or a deeper perspective because you're always in tune. So
I'm
big up to you
trying,
for
man.
that, man.
Yeah, thanks. I'm trying, man. I mean, there's so much
I know.
hell that
Yeah.
I've lost some of it, and I'm
Right.
really just trying to literally reminisce on it and draw back like the sights and smells and like, yo, what was it like? Like, I mean, like there's a Wu Tang show. I'm going to talk about. I've seen Wu Tang so many times, but I remember the very first time I saw a Wu Tang show was
Okay.
in '94, and
Wow.
they came to the Sound Academy, and it
Okay.
was it might have been '95. It was only Raekwon, Chapadonna, and Ghost that rap,
Okay.
and
Okay.
they had a bunch of other Wu guys there that were on the flyer, but the promoter didn't pay
Yeah.
the other guys,
Oh snap!
so none of them performed. And
But they were there.
they were there, they were
Wow.
there, and I like it was my very first Wu memory, and like I was walking out and Raekwon crossed me, and like I was face to face with Raekwon, mad young,
Woo.
and
Yeah. Yeah.
I was like, oh my god, that's Raekwon. And if anybody remembers, Raekwon used to rock a gold tarantula, and he had a tarantula that was all gold with 8 gold legs, and like
Crazy.
he walked up and we were like 2 feet from each other, and I was like, oh, there's the gold tarantula, and that's literally like one of the very first hip
Wow.
hop like gold like pieces of just people like taking their money and doing things with it. So when I
That's
saw,
peace, man.
yeah, when I saw that, I was like, yeah. So
Yo, man, shout out to Raekwon. You know, I had the privilege of meeting him a few times as well, and you know, he supported the whole like SFA movement and whatnot and showing love and it's cool to like meet artists that we've like idolized and that we've like grew up with and seen, and then we actually get to like cross paths with them and be in the same space and vicinity of them, and it's always a blessing when you meet these idols, like people that we look up to, and they're actually decent people. You know what I mean?
that's
Like,
it.
and they're actually decent people. Like Raekwon was cool. Like Ghost. Matter of fact, the whole of Wu. Like I never had a bad experience with none of them actually.
Like
Yo, salute, man. Wu
like
Tang forever, man.
forever, forever. Oh man, Eric, I don't remember the name of the promoter, but the flyer is out there, and
Mm.
it's a mad grimy flyer. And all none of the there's no logo. It's not like the Method Man logo and the Raekwon logo. It's like literally all their
Just
names
written out.
written, just written in hand. And it even says like Shaheen the Rugged Child, Sons of Man. Like they were talking like third tier Wu guys, and you were like, yo, all these people are coming. And I'll go to my grave feeling like Old Dirty Bastard was there, but he didn't perform. And I thought I saw ODB on stage. I know I saw Method Man. I'm pretty sure I saw RZA. But this is at the time it was only like Cuban Links was the only thing that they were pushing. So
Yeah.
um, with Yellow Bricks, I think there might have been. I think there was a brick thing on it. It's possible. But yeah. I want to start
Well,
digging up the old flyers.
either way, man, we want to hear all of these stories, man. There's a lot of concerts. I mean, especially with today's, you know, circumstances, we don't know what the future of concerts are going to be looking like, what performances are going to be looking like, and I you know, like it's almost like a privilege to have that experience, that the essence of going to concerts, you know, and I know we talk about it a lot, man, because it's something that we just hold on to so dearly, and it's beautiful memories, you know. Like, you know, I'll probably be with my kids and talking about, yo, back in my day, these concerts were, you know, like and when they grow up and they're interested in concerts, it's probably going to be like holograms and stuff, you know what I mean? Which they're already starting, so who
Yeah.
knows, man? That's what's up.
Yo, shit. Hey, man, Eric, you brought that first time.
Word up?
What
Oh
was that?
snap!
Eric is blowing shit up. That's ill. What
Um,
year was that, Eric? And was that at Sound Academy?
along with Smith and Wesson Black Moon.
I
Well, hey, Eric, looks like we might have to bring you on the Reminisce Show to come talk about some of
Yeah,
these memories, man.
man. You wanna
This is
like,
too. This
yeah,
is
yo, you're blowing up the comment section. Like, we might have to talk to you next week, doggy.
facts.
Like, wow,
Because
man.
we need to hear all these stories. We need to bring it up, man, and really show, you know what I mean, like the essence of Toronto, man. Like there's so many experiences that just get lost, and you know we need to keep it going, man. So that's, yeah, 94. Okay,
94 is
that's even before my time for concerts, man. I started going to concerts like 98. You know what I mean? So this is even before my time, man. Oh, and they had the
okay.
flyer. Jeez.
Yo, brethren, is it if you're cool, we would love to have you on the show next week, and we could go into this. I am 99% sure I was there. Um, I don't know if that was at Sound Academy, but I've been to a lot of Wu concerts.
Mm-hmm.
And even if I
Yeah,
wasn't at
same.
that one, it's even a better reason to have you on the show so we can have you talk about it.
Exactly. And that's the kind of space that we want to, create with the Reminisce shows. Just conversations, yes, we are the hosts, but this is a community vibe, so everyone can add on. I know, like, we were talking about having conversations on Clubhouse, and we got to get that app set up with you, so we can bring some conversations over there, and really just reminisce, and allow people to just add on. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like, we're what we are is an interactive experience. You know what I mean? So that's what it is.
absolutely, absolutely. And speaking of shows, before we big up Donna and talking about all the black people that got their superpowers on the 21st, the
Beat me
alignment
up,
of Jupiter and Saturn, beat me up.
yo.
That,
But
before
like,
we, wait,
yeah. No, no, go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
I was just thinking, since we're talking shows, maybe we could talk about the E40 and Too Short a bit.
Yeah, man. Like I said, man, I didn't watch like the whole entire thing, but I did see a bits of some clips and some pieces, and E40 and Too Short, like West Coast Bay Area, like these are like like epic, like gods in the hip hop world. You know what I mean? Like when we talk about like respecting our elders, like these are like some artists that are definitely mentioned. People who've been around for like several decades. You know what I mean? E40 for one. I don't know how much slang that he like started or initiate. Like there is so much that people don't even realize that he's the architect, man. He's the originator of that. And to be very real, like E40's music was hard for me to like get into, to be honest. Like
Yeah,
his
me too.
delivery, like I really had to like listen with like a stronger ear, and certain songs was cool, but I always appreciated his aura, his energy, just the way how he carries himself. You know what I mean? He was just a different dude, man. Like his vibe was just interesting. Like if you're around him, it's going to be a very fascinating time. It's going to be so much jokes and just things and just he's brilliant. He's brilliant. And then Too Short, holding it down. You know what I'm saying? Like and the fact that we get to celebrate our hip hop elders, because this is something that I've always spoke about. Like, when it comes to hip hop, it's like we don't really do that, like rock and roll, other genres of music hold like, their elders, they're, the pioneers in high regard, and they're almost like God status, you know what I mean? And but when it comes to like, hip hop, like we don't really do that. So it's kind of cool with the verses. It's in a way it's doing that, like having some celebrations of those who paved the way. And from my understanding of these verses, like they really broke down like the history of the Bay Area and the influence. A lot of people don't really understand the Bay Area in a sense of like, that's where the Black Panther started.
Uh-huh.
That's where Tupac went, in the West Coast. And when you see Tupac, talking about the West Coast or whatever, it was because of the Bay Area and what was happening, the energy, the synergy, just like the culture, is what made Tupac throw up that W, you know what I mean? Instead of West Side, even though he's born in New York. And so many people came from the Bay Area. But like, what's your experience watching it?
Man, it was hard. Like, you're absolutely right. I love E40. I was listening to him on and off
Yeah.
ever since the early '90s. Like when he put out "Sprinkle Me," that was my E40 song. That was around '95. And like,
Okay.
I'm not gonna say that I'm a huge E40 listener because I'm like you. He's a super acquired taste. Like he's
Yeah.
such a unique
Yeah.
one of one. He's kind of like an old dirty bastard of the West Coast. He's like just like
Okay.
a really like a one of a kind character without
Okay.
question.
I can see that. Yeah. Yeah.
So like I'm not gonna say like I played E40 as much as I played De La Soul, but like
Right.
I love that man and I respected him because I like to invent words too and I like wordplay. E40 has invented more slang than anybody in all of the culture. The entire culture.
Facts, yo, facts.
And like that's gotta get like he has a dictionary. Like the man has a
Say
dictionary.
word.
Yeah, there is
I
an
mean, that
E40
makes sense.
dictionary. So
That's proper.
and like Eric was saying, yeah, they did do an album together, E40 and Too Short. It was so dope at the end of the verses.
Mm.
Tupac, not Tupac, Too Short, Too Short was like, I'm kind of sick of going back and forth, dog. He's like, we've been friends for 30 years. Why are we going? This isn't really a versus. This is like a celebration of us. So let's play a bunch of our duets. So then, like for the last 3 or 4 songs, they were just playing songs that they
They
both
did together.
started on together. It was like, yes, word up, Too Short, do that. And then
Man.
there was this really ill moment where Too Short was like, you remember this album and this song that you did? Blah, blah, blah. And he mentioned something. And E40 was like, I don't remember the name of that. Too Short's like, what are you talking about, dog? It was this. And then E40 was like, oh, yeah, oh, yeah. And he's like, I've got 34 albums. And like,
Like,
he was
yo,
just like,
like,
bro, I've got too much history. I got to forget a little bit. And it's like,
oh
work.
man, and just like you saying, like like the 30-year like history of friendship or whatever. But like these two were also like family friends. Like they knew each other before the music, and which I thought was cool. And again, just seeing the celebration of two black men, two artists, coming together in a healthy way, showing like this connection, this relation, the powerful,
It was
incredible.
so powerful. It was so wonderful, man. It was just life lessons and jewels. They were just being themselves. It was pure West Coast culture. Having the lowriders there, phenomenal. It was a beautiful
You
touch.
can't right, yeah.
And they had lowriders on Dayton, and like big up to Puffy Combs. He sponsored it. There was like Ciroc there, and
Of
they're,
course.
they were having fun drinking, and it was just a really healthy. It was like looking at your uncles going through their record collection.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
it's like,
yeah.
word up, this is a family gathering.
That's peace, man.
I was really happy about it. Um,
Yeah, that's peace, man. I think like my connection or introduction to the Bay Area might have been like the Loonies, yo. I think that was like when I really got into the Loonies, man. When they came through, like Yuck Mouth, man. Like Yuck Mouth was my guy for a while, man.
Yo, that's dope. That's dope. And
Yeah.
Too Short was on a I Got Five on a remix. So that was, I
Oh,
think,
right, right, yeah. I think there was a bunch of them. I mean, there's several remixes. That's one of the classics. You know what I mean? Like hip hop, man, right there. Yeah, got five on it. Yeah, man.
yeah, man. Back in the days.
That's nothing but good vibes. But I want to talk about the Not Another Drake podcast that you were
Oh,
featured on.
yeah.
With some of our peoples. I know that Ty Harper was involved in that. I know our brother Dalton Higgins was supporting. Man, shout out Dalton. And it got I don't know if it was a nomination or a recognition, but like a top pick for Apple Podcasts or something. I'm not
Oh,
sure what the exact framing was, but either way, like a recognition was made present, and I want to get your perspectives on that. Like, how was it? Like working with that podcast. Like, how did you get involved with it? And for the people who don't know, what is the podcast about? Since it says it's not another Drake podcast, but
yeah. It was really dope how Ty put it together. What he did is he called me to come into the CBC studios. Thank goodness I know that too far. So I just walked down there, and he just had a bunch of questions about Drake, and then stories and questions that had nothing to do with Drake that were before the Drake era. And he's like, "Listen, I want to talk about Toronto," and that's why it was called like "This is not a Drake podcast," I guess,
right, right,
because it was like, yes, Drake is a major part of Canadian history, but there's a whole bunch of history before him, and things all tie together. So he's like, let's talk about the Juno night because that was a really big moment in history.
yeah, yeah,
Um, but also let's talk about like the getting up Echo Fest because Cardinal was
okay,
on it, Chaos is on it,
right.
Louis Black, Kanye was there, Ludacris was there, Fat Joe was there. So it's like it was a major historic
Oh,
event. It's a huge
why wasn't I there?
Oh man, it was because the promotion was horrible, but it was the first of its kind.
Right, it
That
was,
was
it was.
pretty much literally. I mean, shout out to like the '80s, like concert hall events and stuff. Those were legendary. But this was like the
Right.
first modern era '90s, 2000, like modern hip hop, American Canadian unity concert.
Uh,
So yeah,
man.
it was a 2 day fest and it had
Okay.
American Canadians on it.
And like like what were some of the things that you specifically spoke on for the podcast?
We talked about the Echo getting up fest. We talked about because there was the Cardinal and Chaos beef quote unquote, kind
I
of
remember that.
when Cardinal smashed
Smash
the
the
guitar.
guitar.
Yeah. So we talked about that, and then we talked about how like the industry was Cardinal did that because he was hated on, and then it led into the Drake and the Juno stuff, and how Drake hosted Junos and was nominated for 6 Junos, and then walked home with none.
That was
And
still
it was still like one of the wackest moments in Canadian music history.
that's a
And
diss, man.
like a pure diss, and this is I'm pretty sure it was for the Take Care album. It wasn't even Bank Later. It's like Drake had been a millionaire, been made history.
Yeah.
Like Ben had,
He was doing them a favor. You know what I mean? Let me just boost those ratings up real quick.
yeah,
You know?
for real. And to be in that room is one of the. I mean, I've forgotten various things over the time, but I will never, ever, ever
No.
forget just sitting in that room and watching the whole. You're like, okay, Drake is over 6. Like we got 6 presentations left. Drake didn't win that one. Drake didn't win that one. Not that. And so just the whole night, everyone was just being like, "Are you serious? Drake is gonna be here, and you're not gonna give him one award, a Juno?
Like
This is pathetic." Like you can hate Drake all you want, but to say that he doesn't earn a Juno, it's ridiculous. Because
yo, like it was mentioned before, like I don't think there's ever been a point in history where an artist has hosted an award show and not get some hardware to take home. Like
that's it.
I don't think it's ever happened though. Maybe,
No, I
benefit of
never.
the doubt, but
No, they did, but they do that. Like half the time,
yeah,
MMVAs when they fly in the host, they're like, "Yo, you're kind of here because we're gonna give you an award, dude."
yeah,
It's
yeah.
kind of like on the low. It's what happens. So like they talked about that. And we talked about other concerts, Phoenix, Sound
Mm,
Academy, and just
all
Canadian
over,
hip
yeah.
hop. It was Ty was really tight about it. And we also talked about City on My Back.
Oh, shout out to City on my back, man. Like that was like a really solid like movement in Toronto, And for those who know, what City on my back was like a Toronto centric like showcase, a platform for artists. It essentially reminded me of like the college radio vibe, but then that was put on flow. So
Yeah.
it kind of like had that theme. So it was like we got like commercial reach and expansion, but like having that like college radio like feel of just people who are really cultured and really interested in artist endeavors and stuff. So a lot of people were featured on there. Like I know there was some extensive Drake interviews on there and a few other notable artists and stuff like that. So that's cool that I was highlighted, man. Most definitely, we got to bring that back, man. Straight up.
That was the show was great, man. Those was a great time in the city of Toronto. Yo, I gotta pick you up real quick though before I drop into the surprise that they have for us. I did
Okay.
watch that Mayhem Moriarty documentary that you sent me, and
Yeah.
wow.
That's a real interesting one. Yeah, it's called Some Sort of Judas, and it's featuring an artist by name Mayhem Moriarty. I don't know. You want to get into it?
Uh, I mean, I don't know what to say at this point. It
I'll
was,
just
yeah.
you know
I
what like
want to
I'll
talk
just
about
say
it.
this, man. Like it's coming from like the hip hop world, it's there's certain levels of engagement, but I'll say this, like TVO did a documentary, and y'all can check it out online. It's called Some Sort of Judah, and it breaks down some of the events that have taken place involving a particular artist and a particular individual and some particular events that came about. A lot it's disturbing,
Quite,
interesting.
quite.
I don't know, like how did you feel about that? Like watching it though.
There's this duality. There's like they're talking about, they were trying to reinforce the no snitching idea, but then they're revealing a bunch of stuff that
Right.
continue to incriminate. So
Yeah.
it's like, well, wow, um, holy shit, this just makes him look worse.
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
so like, wow. But I mean, I guess it was as real as it gets in a way. Like they're just like, let's peel back all the street hype and the media lies
Yeah.
and just like get into his life
Yeah.
after
Yeah.
jail. And so I mean, I don't know. It was disturbing too, man. Like, wow,
Yeah,
the brothers that the innocents that were murdered, like, peace to their memory, bro, for real, because that shit was
most
just
definitely.
tragic.
Yeah, yeah, no, for sure. Like, that goes back to some of the conversation we are having earlier about just like the value of life, and just really we're talking about like the Toronto hip hop like drill scene specifically, and just like the violence that has been perpetuated through the music and just like the the agony and just like the this the aggression in it, and it's just like this kind of this black hole that's just like sucking in, and it doesn't bring any life. You know what I mean? It's like it's like the outcome is literally like death or jail, and it's unfortunately it's like the people who are participating in this lifestyle feel like that's the only options that they have, and a lot of them are fine with those outcomes, death or jail, and I can only imagine like the mindset that goes into someone who's accepting those kinds of realities, you know, um, like where down the line that shift, because we're talking like, people aren't born like that. You know what I mean? There's series of events, there's things that have taken place that have maybe positioned them to feel that this is the only way that they can, move. So it's like a suicidal lifestyle, like it really is.
It really is.
Um, but it's seen as a way of like empowering. This is the way how we gotta move forward in order to feel empowered. So it's heartbreaking. Because like we are talking about earlier, um, a lot of these artists, who die are like under the age of 25, and as we know, when it comes to human development and brain development, all these different things, like that doesn't really happen until like the age of 25. So in terms of like maturity and really coming into yourself and discovering who you need to be, it's wild, So
It's so wild.
it's definitely, and I don't even have the answers for it, but I do have a lot of like empathy for those who are caught up in the struggle and who feel like there's no other way. I mean, it's easy to be like, well, they're gangbangers and just whatever happens, but like, from a human perspective, it's like, you know, um, empathy and compassion goes a long way.
Goes a long way, man, for real. And we all need it. There's gonna be a point where we all really want it. So, on another note, I
What you got?
found a bit of a gift here. Uh,
Okay.
I'm just gonna pull it up.
Let's see what you got, man.
Yeah, it's not a music thing. It's a movie thing.
Okay.
And next March, unfortunately, we're not going to be able to see Black Panther 2 until 2022, but
Yeah.
we get a little bit of African royalty in this.
Oh, coming to America. Oh, I haven't seen this. Okay.
You must eat my words before I'm gone, my son. Now, you will be king, but the throne must pass to a male heir. Hakim, it appears you have a son who must be found. Prepare the royalty. We are going back to America. Oh, hell no, your majesty. Come
Okay. Oh.
I'm the king of this shop. That's money in hell. Well. Bring it again. It is so good to see you. Well, I be damned. Look who done come up in here. Yeah, but man, the hungry baby with flies on the thing. Hey, that's too much. Now you just over the line. Now, we don't talk that kind of shit about hungry baby. You want to get out my chair. Politically incorrect. Well, what do you do in that here, Rwanda?
Coming to America. Yes. Okay. Okay.
Oh my god. Yeah.
I didn't see that trailer, so that was definitely a surprise for me right there. That's a big movie. You know, it's crazy. Like, I remember being very young. I must have been like 6 years old, and this was the time we were going to New York to like visit some family. And I actually remember being young and going into the theater with some of my older like cousins or whatever, and seeing Coming to America. I remember there, like in the theater, it was Crocodile Dundee and Coming to America, and I wanted to see that. You know what I mean? But everybody wants to come to America. And I remember just being in there as a kid. I'm just like, whoa, this is kind of interesting. So it was cool, like being in America and then seeing the movie in America. So in New York specifically. So that was kind of cool.
That's dope, man.
Yeah. That's a classic film, and I like how they brought back certain classic elements at the barbershop, and then you know what I mean. So that's pretty cool. All right, man, I'm gonna look out for them on Amazon Prime. That's what's up.
No doubt, man. That it was originally supposed to come out right around Christmas time right now, but this year's a mess. So
makes sense. Push it back,
build
up momentum and get the memes going and all that kind of stuff. So that's peace.
Yeah. Oh, quickly, Carleen, she was asking what platform is it on?
You can just Google it. It's on TVO, but I think the easiest thing is to Google it. Some sort of Judas. Yeah. Some sort of Judas is what it's called. TVO.
I'm just going into the bag.
Going to the bag, man.
Going into the bag. Wait, did we talk about the things that we wanted to discuss this week? Is there anything on your radar that you want to pick up?
No, I think we're good. I know we were talking about doing kind of like a year-end review. So we'll probably save that for like next week. Talk about some of the highlights, some of the things, like what 2020 has brought us. I know there's like a lot of negative things to focus on, but we can definitely highlight some of the positives. So we'll definitely get into that. Like I'm going to really like meditate and just make my checklist of just things that I feel 2020 really brought forth for me, including they doing lives. You know what I mean? Like before this, like I know I wouldn't be doing it. So that's kind of cool. I would be having these kind of conversations just offline, but now we're putting it out there for the world to see.
I'm gonna do my best to. I was looking into getting that other phone. I'm gonna have to get an Apple as well as my Samsung, but I really want to try to get on that Clubhouse, man. Clubhouse looks like it's popping.
I think that you will have a field day there, man. Like I think you will be able to cover all different kinds of topics. You know what I'm saying? So like I feel like there's so many different opportunities and ways to connect and just find like-minded peoples and man, get people to add on. Experiential learning, man. Collaborative learning.
I look forward to that, man. That's dope. That's dope. Yeah. And there's so many things in here.
What you got?
There's like things there's movie things, there's sexy things.
Okay, that's what's up.
Oh my God.
Balance is key, man. You gotta have it all, yo. You know what I'm saying?
So many types of events I go to. There's a few shows that I read that I'm like, oh, I wish I was there. Like, I really wish I was at that last OVO show, man. That's one of my life regrets. Like, because I missed the one. The ninth one is when Drake had the CN Tower, and he came out to trophies when we had the trophy, and Cardi B was there, Meg Thee Stallion was there. It was the last one before the world got screwed. So I'm really sad that I missed that one. Even though I've seen 6 or 7 out of the 9 OVO fests.
Yeah, I've been to at least like 4 or 5 OVO fests, so I'm happy for that. But shout out to Live Nation and shout out to Amal, man. People who be hooking me up, man. Getting that backstage pass, you know what I'm
saying? Yes. Oh my God, thank God for that. Yo, you know what? Man, I'm not finding what I want.
Are you picking flyers that we already like shown?
Yeah, I was finding a bunch that we've already seen, but I did find this.
Okay, what you got?
It's not like
Massey Hall. I can't really see who. Oh, Shad? Oh,
Shad, yeah.
Shout out Shad, man.
When Shad played at Massey Hall, and I also want to shout out Tilo, man. Tilo is his DJ, and
Okay.
Tilo is sick as hell. But like Chad, man, he had a great show at Massey Hall. If I remember correctly, Eternia was in the crowd, might have been there. But it was just really dope to see like hip hop at Massey Hall.
Right.
I know I saw Erica Badu there once.
Actually, I actually saw J. Cole perform at Massey Hall.
What?
You know, I
Yo,
thought
talk
was
about
pretty
that.
interesting. Yeah.
What?
That was a pretty interesting, you know, because Massey Hall is like set up like theater style. So it's not like a club, you know, you're not standing up or whatever. So you're sitting and whatnot. And yeah, it was pretty dope actually. It's pretty dope. This was like before he had dreads and whatnot, and I remember went to like this after party, and you know J. Cole was just around and chilling. You know what I mean? Like no security, no nothing. And yeah, man, it was a pretty cool show.
That's sick.
Yeah, it was a nice vibe.
Yo, yeah, man.
Yeah, so that's what's up, man. So
Yeah.
Reminisce Show, man.
Yeah, another week, man.
Yeah, man.
We made it through the year, yo. Yeah, just like everybody. Love yourself, eat good,
That's it.
sleep good. Appreciate the fact that it's December 22nd, and we've all been on the wildest roller coaster maybe ever.
Right,
And
right.
we're all slowly but surely making it through this, slowly but surely. And,
We are, man. We gotta hold the faith, man. You know, like good will triumph over evil, man. We gotta make it happen.
that's for real. That's for real. And but seriously, Eric Banks, I'd love to get you on the show. We definitely have as much time as we need. We'd love to talk to you for 20 minutes. If you want to talk about concerts that you brought, especially that Wu-Tang show, that would be phenomenal.
I want to hear about that. Wu-Tang forever, yo.
Wu-Tang forever and ever.
Yeah.
And
Alrighty.
I'm good, man. Yo, blessings to Colleen, blessings to all our people who watch, blessings to you, obviously. Yep.
Appreciate it, man. Blessings to you as well, man. We're going to keep doing this, man. Keep creating a space and just dropping the knowledge and make sure people get the insights, you know what I mean, about Toronto, about our history and the places we've been, and ultimately so we can know where the places we're going, man. And that's the Sankofa way, African traditions, man. Everywhere we go, Mama Africa in our heart. Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's what's up.
Yo, do you have his email? We will get at you.
I guess we'll probably get a shout out on Facebook. I'll try to reach out.
Okay, we'll link up on Facebook.
Proper.
Yo.
All right, man. Till next time, man. Salute to everybody. Be safe. Be healthy. Say,
Everybody,
reminisce.
have a good meal on the 25th and every day before that and after that. Keep the good love up and live.
Jeez.
Peace.